you gonna thank me for this video. We will build a very simple camera rig, you know, where you can create animations through your 3D model. And this is very simple. It's just a few curves and lines and so on. But then we're gonna control that rig from within Grasshopper and Python. And you're gonna think, that script is so simple. Why is not everybody learning scripting? And I get it. There's not a lot of time, and people are very busy, don't have much time to read. And then when they have some time to read, then they learn a script like Hello World, you know, Hello World. And then after Hello World, then what? It's a big hurdle. It's a huge, like, learning a script language is steep learning curve. I get it. But what I try to do is show you a script where you can learn something and use it in your projects. That's why Python lesson number 2, we control the camera from within Grasshopper, and the Python component, it's called Grasshopper Python. New York Manhattan model here, but actually in order to model quickly, I just turned it off because it's very slow. I downloaded this 3D model. It's from this website here. I will put this link into the show notes. You can download entire New York City. Yeah, basically everything. You see Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn. It's great. Pretty cool. I would love to have that for London, if anybody's listening. And how you get these nice shadows in the render viewport. By the way, this is a non-photorealistic approach. We will not have a photorealistic animation later on. For the rig, what do we need? So there are a lot of things you can control with the camera. Let's have a look at the camera first. The camera settings. So if nothing is selected in my viewport, then it actually shows the settings for the camera. You see the lens length, the rotation, the location, and the target, or the distance to the target. The distance to the target. And then here you're gonna see the location of the target. And you can do things like this. Normally I place the target first. You can place the target. Let's try it like this. Place the target, and then you can place the camera. And that's what we're gonna do in Python. We're gonna control these two values, these two things with Python. But the great thing about it, what we can do then is to have, for example, a target, but we have, instead of like having one position for the camera, we can actually move the camera along a line or along a circle or any other curve. So for example, yeah, we could move along this line here, and the target still stays at the same. Of course, there are other ways then to also animate this, but step by step. For our rig, we need a curve where the camera moves along, right? So let's build one rig first. I want to show you the circle first. So we're gonna build a circle. We can do this by this one. Build a circle from center, a normal vector, the direction, and the radius. I took this because they could be interesting to also try to control the angle. We will not do this in this video, but yeah, it could be interesting. So alternatively, you can also, of course, build a circle like this. Just the base and the radius. That's also possible. A center point, that's gonna be my target, the target of the camera. Just a point anywhere, it doesn't matter really. And but I want to, instead of like having just a point, and in order to find it later, it's easier to modify this a bit. So I put here a point first. I'm gonna mark this. It already has a circle. I can put here a slider. Let's say 1,000 meter. But on this, I want to actually add I want to add something here. And of course, that could be also done more elegant. I don't know. But for this, for this model, I think it's fine. And now I just group that together, and this is my target point. And you can already see that my camera would then move along the curve and would always look into the center. So typical, how's it called, turntable kind of animation. That's it, no? Not yet. So now the curve, in order to move along, we need to evaluate the curve. Evaluating means mark a point along the curve at a specific location. So I get my curve here, and then I can have a slider here again. But this time we don't use this one. We use a slider which goes from 0 to 1. And why we're doing this, now you can actually see it doesn't do much, it doesn't move. Really, it only moves 1 meter. Yeah, you can see it moves a bit, but it's very little. But we can reparameterize this curve, and that means that the length of the curve going in here will be translated to 1. And now you can see that by doing so, I can go around 1 time, and it doesn't matter how big this radius is. It's always 1, right? The length of this is always 1, and that's why I can go around the whole circle. And the same would be with any line. If you go along the line, you want to always like start from 0 and end with 1. Okay, so that's basically it. So this is the point for my camera, and this is my target. And then one more thing, in order to have a bit more control, I want to also be able to change the height of the camera without changing the height of the target. It's basically move geometry. I want to move my point in the Z direction. That's why I give here a Z vector. And then I can also have a slider here. And now I'm gonna need a normal number again, and now I can change it like this. So now my camera can move towards or away from the target and around the circle, and I can change the height of the camera. And you can also, of course, would be able to go down. I can, of course, do this here. I can say minus, let's say minus 300 plus 300. Don't know how high the tallest buildings are, and are they higher than 300 meter? Let's say 600. Again, I can go around, but I can also go now lower than where my target is, because my target could be also on a building somewhere. Okay, that's basically my rig. Now I just need to attach the camera to it. That's it. So one more thing I can do here is actually I can describe this a bit better. Distance, rotation, and height. And now I can publish this to the remote panel. I'll show you in a bit what that means. So I do this with all 3 of them. And now I can go here and go and click Grasshopper, and then I have a panel here, my remote panel. Yeah, I can pull this here, and then I can basically change my settings here. Pretty neat, no? Now Python, we need Python here. Under math, scripts, Python. So in Python, I'm gonna show you first a bit here. Okay, we don't need this. Last time I didn't explain anything about this here, and because we didn't need it. We didn't need this portion. But this time we will need it, because in order to control things within Rhino, we need to get access to the Rhino script syntax. And that's what we do here. So this is a very typical command in Python, and in many languages is similar. In order to access the script syntax, we need to import it first. And in this way, in this case, we can import it. We can import the Rhino script syntax, and then when we say as rs, meaning that we don't need to always write the full length Rhino script syntax blah blah blah. In that case, we only need to write rs. And what I mean by that is, now when we want to get something from the Rhino script syntax, we just need to write rs dot, and then it already gives us the commands from the Rhino syntax, the objects and commands and definitions and so on. So for example, add curve here. Normally then you would, when we open parentheses, then we get this description, the help, automatically the help function pops up and tells us what we actually do. What does it do? Add curve means adding a curve, and it even gives you an example. It even gives you the code basically what you need to do. Import Rhino syntax as rs. Points is rs get points. Carefully here, this is written for the Rhino script within Rhino, but it's not written. So this help file is not written for the Grasshopper version of Python. But basically, if we say view, oh no, let's do this like this. It's easier. View camera and open parentheses, then we get actually the code we need in order to control the camera. Parameters. So the view camera has these components: view and camera location. So when we need to define the view, which view it is, and the camera location. And actually here's an example, and we can even copy that whole thing so we can reuse it. So in here it says import Rhino syntax as rs. That's what we did already. We don't need to do that twice. Then we're defining the view. What view is it? So I also get rid of this. What's the view we are in? And here it says rs current view. That's okay, we can live with that. Let's keep the current view. Then it says camera. The camera is rs, Rhino script syntax, get point. That's my camera location. So as you can see here, rs.viewCamera is the view, and the camera means the view, in which view we're gonna control the camera, and what is the location of the camera. So instead of view, because this is okay, this we can keep, view we can keep, that's the current view, that's fine. But the camera we want to control in a different way. We want to get this point. This point is our camera point. This is the camera origin. So what we can do is actually here, we can delete this whole thing and write is x. That's it. And now if I test this, then it works already. Can you imagine? With that little code, I'm already controlling the camera. So if I now show camera, sorry, camera, show. Now you say but it's not on the ring. Well, actually it is. It's just not because I moved it around. But you can see now the camera in these other windows. You can see it basically moves with my. But now when I do this, it's actually snapped to my ring, and now I can rotate it around that ring. That is pretty cool. Now we also want to control the target, so we always want to look into the center. So there's another command which is, it's called rs view camera target, and it's the same. It's just, there's just more information. Here it says example, import Rhino script syntax. Yes, we did already. View, yes, we have already. We have the view. The camera, yes, we have the camera. The camera is x. That's the camera location. And if camera means if there's a camera, then do this. Set the camera view to this coordinates, to this location, and so on. And for the camera target, it takes the same kind of variables with one more, which is called target, and we can actually create that here. We need to define first the variable target is y. and the target is this one. So I actually just need to place this here. Now if I write here if camera so it's exactly the same command. So view camera, camera and oh sorry, that's wrong, comma, camera and target. If there would be now some mistake, for example, I misspelled something, then it would give me an error. But it's all right. It's all works fine. Test. Okay. Okay. Now you can see that my target is on my center. I have to say, it's a bit weird. This is I don't know why it's shivering. That it doesn't matter because we're gonna use it for creating animations. Yeah, so okay, now you can see this is so simple. It's just a very simple rig, but very effective. Now I can basically animate my let's go back here. Wait, first render viewport, we turn the gumball off, we turn any curve, let's don't show curves, and you can also hide your, so we also don't want to see this, of course. Just turn everything off, and we can even maybe place the target in another folder. And then I just need to, whatever I want to animate, I can just go here and say animate. And here I can decide how many, so it depends on how fast it goes. You can calculate if I make an animation with 24 images per second, then I can calculate that here on how long should that shot should be, how long should it be. Let's stick with 100 for now, and also the resolution, let's keep it small, or maybe let's make it bigger. And then you just select your folder. These are single shots. You need to have some kind of software to stitch it together. But there are free software out there which they don't cost anything. So in my case, I'm using Blender for that. It's just so simple and very quick. So here I just and I did a tutorial about that in the past. So you can maybe check this link here. So Grasshopper, Python, and then OK and OK, and it already start to capture the images. Yeah, this was finished, and now I can stitch together in Blender, for example, or any other video editing software. There's what's called, one is super professional, is DaVinci Resolve. It's for free also, the basic version. Blender is for free as well, so there's no excuse. And there are other options even within Grasshopper, but for me this is just the most easiest is this one. Blender, open here, new video editing, yes, no. Video editing, don't save. Okay, then you just go to your folder. Yeah, just add here image sequence. Then I can select all these and add, and yeah, immediately works. So now I just want to make a circle. I want to go in a circle around it. We go here, rotation, we're gonna do this, animate, just make a new folder here, camera 2, because we use the same settings. Maybe I can have more frames. I think the camera is fine for this, it's fine. And it's already recording. Prost. Anti-alcoholic beer, by the way, it's really good. That is finished as well. Now I want to show you something more. I want to show you one more option here. For that we need to kind of slightly modify our script here. So what I would do is I will just disable this thing and copy the whole stuff, copy all this. So now instead of moving along a curve, I can actually change this here and just exchange this bit here, this distance plus this portion here. I exchanged it with just a curve, just a curve which moves through this space. So yeah, I drew this line. One problem here is that if I want to move the target along here, then I need to find a way that it stays on that line. I don't want to put one point and then it always looks at it to that point. I want it to actually move. The target should also move along this curve. So what can I do here? Yeah, actually it's not that difficult. I just let's get rid of this one also, and or yeah, no, we can keep this. We need a distance slider anyway. Then we have our curve, the curve I just drew. That was wrong, of course. So now this curve is stored in here, and I can place this in here. Now we have, this is our target. This was our target, but now our target should be on the curve. So we have our camera on the curve, but we also want to have our target on the curve. So how could we do that? Well, we could take this, we evaluate the curve twice. By the way, this is actually wrong. No rotation. Now it's actually the distance. So now we can change that if we want. And here we say we add an addition. and we say this is always ahead. This is on the curve, but it's always ahead a certain amount. 1. It only just doesn't work, probably because at some point it's larger than the line. Doesn't matter, it just stops. For sure there's a way to deal with that, but for now it doesn't matter. I mean, you get the point. It's more about the point, how to deal with it. So it will work. If I put here 0.1 or 0.01, then this is my target. This is the location of my target. It's always like 0.01 ahead of the camera position. And I can place this in here. So now I can enable this again. And then the height is 0. So now it should actually work. Yes, it works. Okay, so let's try it out. Go back to my rendered viewport and we can test that. Maybe we go a bit lower. Okay, that was also finished. So it's a bit too fast and the angle is a bit too high, but yeah, on the other hand, pretty cool. That's need to work on that. Yeah, I hope you like this. If you have any suggestion or question, please ask, and see you next time.